Greetings, my name is Dr. Christopher C. York. I'm a philosophy instructor and my research specialty is the philosophy of sport and games. I'm the founder of the Arena Gauntlet League and this is Leagues Ahead! Leagues Ahead is a vodcast which describes and basically previews the leagues that you're about to play. This is a very special episode of Leagues Ahead in that not all of you are going to be able to play in this one. This is the Player of the Year 2024 vodcast, and for this I have invited my very special guest, Adam Schoenborn. Welcome, Adam, LC member, frenemy on the, different topics, right? Like you vote with me, you vote against me, you're never afraid to give me your opinion. I'm always happy to get your honest feedback, so welcome to the show.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.
All right, so first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about Pody's past. What went right? What went wrong? What's the clay that we're trying to shape from Pody 2024 from? Now, first of all, are you a Pody guy or are you a potty guy? I'm a Pody guy. Do you say potty or Pody?
Pody.
Yes.
All right, it's not potty.
I don't think so either. But some people they call it the potty. Not on.
No.
This is our biggest tournament. This is what I call the capstone tournament of the year of play, the season of play. It's the most important and most prestigious tournament that we offer. The winner is crowned Player of the Year, has a unique Discord badge, and I guess we can start previewing some of the rules. For the first time this year, gets buyback on all the leagues for the 2024-2025 play season, which is maybe our sweetest prize that we've offered for anything so far. Maybe except for that Commander Collection Green we gave away randomly in Kaladesh.
I was shocked to hear about that. We definitely need more Commander collections. Yeah, well, I don't play Commander, but that's got to be the best prize you're given, right?
Oh yeah, it was the big dollar ticket for sure. That league and every league. So thanks again, Crossover Comics, for your support, and Maxime especially. Thanks you. So let's talk then about it, right? So we got a new prize, same title, 2024 Player of the Year. They get their emote or their emoji or whatever you want to call it. They get the badge, which only one person can get, so it's very highly sought after. They get bragging rights for an entire year to rub it in everybody's face about their accomplishment, and they get to play every tournament basically free because they get their entry fee at least back in winning, so they're not going behind. Guaranteed EV for an entire year of tournaments. What do you want to add to the mix here, just in terms of throwing out facts about Pody 2024?
Well, no, that describes the stakes pretty well. I think the stakes are higher than ever, although just the title would be enough for me. I don't know, you were saying not everyone's going to get to play in it, but I don't think either of us are going to get to play in it.
Well, unless I spike hard in Bloomborough, and I'm really like, that's my last gambit. I don't know about you. How are you fixed for your Pody invite?
I don't think I'm getting there. I mean, if I win Bloomsboro, I'm not winning MH3, so it's do or die time, I guess. But it's not looking good.
So, Adam, I crafted the previous 3 years of Pody rules, and they were in bad shape. They were just basically, glorified side quest rule sets because they weren't for a full what we used to call campaign leagues, which I guess we're now wondering if that's the right thing to call them. They were more like small events, lovingly, artisanally crafted for our player base. Sometimes appreciated, sometimes not. Certainly there have been some hits and some misses in terms of feedback from our participants. This year, you took over the job of revamping the rules, adding a bunch in. Do you want to run us through the big changes? What can we expect from this year's Pody that's different from last year's?
Yeah. I feel like you're baiting me here a little bit. I'm trying to draw.
I'm inviting you. I'm inviting you to, give vent.
Yeah, I mean, I was an outspoken critic, maybe, of the last one.
Oh, were you?
Maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, not outspoken. But I was a critic of it. I think I didn't like the cumulative points, which we've scrapped for this year. So. Last year, between rounds, you brought your points over. I mean, to be fair to you, it actually worked out pretty fine. But I didn't like it in theory that each round you played with a different set of people, accumulated points, and then you could make it to the final round and be essentially eliminated because you're so far behind on points. That was not something I was like keen on in theory.
Yeah, I think in practice it made zero difference, but people made a lot of it, right? People got a lot of mileage out of chewing on that rule, but I think in the end, in effect, it had no, it made no difference to who won the tournament, I don't think.
Yeah, I think a lot of times some of the things that we quibble over are like that. But the problem is when it does make a difference, people get pretty upset, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes also I'm just overreacting to stuff, so I try to keep that in mind. But I do think we're going to try it this year without that. So this year there's 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And between each round, there's no accumulation of points.
Quarterfinals, semifinals, and Mega Draft finals, right?
Yeah, that's right. And so in the first round, there'll be 4 pods, and we eliminate 2 players from each pod. So the pods are 6 players each, so 24 players total in the tournament.
Yeah.
And that first round, we eliminate 8 players across 4 pods. But then when you go forward to the next round, it's like a fresh, clean slate in the following round, which I think is better. We'll see how it plays out. We'll have a point of comparison at least.
Yeah.
So that should be good. And then it cuts from 16 to 8 for a Mega Draft final. That's pretty much the same as before, I think.
Yeah, there were 3 rounds before. There were 24 players, so same size as last year's tournament. Same number of invitees.
Yeah, and we have had some debate about number of invitees, so that's something that people may want to jump in league crafting or later in the feedback about and let us know, because there's an active debate about expanding possibly to include the new role of Gauntlet Pennant, which I think is what we landed on for branding. I like that branding a lot, actually.
Yeah, I like the branding because it brings in the Gauntlet of Gauntlet League, so it kind of ties it to the series. Pennant seems fine as well. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I get too excited about a pennant, but, fine. There was some debate about whether to call it a winner, and, in the end we decided pennant is just nondescript enough to work for our purposes. But yeah, now we're sort of getting into leagues ahead of leagues ahead, because that won't affect this year's Pody, but it may indeed affect next year's Pody. So that's Pody 2025. The debate we're having right now, or the discussion we're having, I should say, we're not at the debate point yet because it's too far away. We'll debate it later, but we're discussing it now, whether the Gauntlet Pennant title holders for the 2024-2025 season will also get invites to an expanded Pody 2025, which will have, I think, 32 players, and therefore 4 full pods of 8 instead of 4 pods of 6 in the quarterfinals.
Seems like too many people to me. I like this 24, but people can have their say. I'll see how much I like it when I don't get invited. Maybe I'll want 32 then.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'd be happy if there were 8 extra invites and I was one of them. I think I'd argue. I mean, I think that's the thing that people were arguing before. I think is that they want more people to enjoy the goods of competing in this exclusive tournament, our only exclusive tournament, the only tournament that we bar participation to, which makes it kind of like a bit of a FOMO moment if you can't get in. So all these sort of community regulars either have accumulated enough points or spiked hard and gotten a league win somewhere in the year. So it is kind of a special, intimate tournament, and I do think like 32 maybe is as big as I'd want to get it, but it still that seems okay to me. It's still it's still a pretty elite.
I'm not sold on elite tournament for everyone. It doesn't, but. I get more sold the further.
It's an elite tournament for more people, right? It's like the Pro Tour. The Pro Tour has hundreds of people on it, but they had to work to get there, right? Or at least they used to.
That's true.
When the Pro Tour existed, in the form I loved.
I remember Sawyer for a while was floating the idea of inviting people with perfect tournament attendance as like a different way in. Maybe it was just one invite, or maybe we just like everyone who had beaten every league of the year. Oh. Which I don't think there are that many. There are some.
Oh, you mean kind of like the Rookie of the Year event where you have like the perfect attendance of the year event, and the person who wins the perfect attendance of the year event gets a special invite to Pody. Why not? I'd be in the club. I'd be in the club.
I think he's suggesting opening it for everyone with perfect attendance. I don't think there's very many people who do 100% of leagues.
That would be huge.
Our stats people.
No, I think there's probably more than you think. I think like I don't know. I'd say that we had like 20 people who have been here. Like I don't know. I'd have to scan that, but for the last 9 tournaments, I bet there's probably 15, 20 people who've been there for all of them. I mean, the LC's been there. The LC alone, that's 6 people who've been to every tournament, right? And then add to that the faithful regulars. Come on, there's got to be at least 15.
Yeah, it might end up being just the 6 of us.
We can't pass these rules. I mean, that we've already been accused of being a cabal of self-interested, meatheads. We can't start passing laws that benefit only us, right? That's going to be the downfall of the LC. That's going to be like insularity upon insularity, right?
Somebody look this up, Lotta or Jack. Let me know how many people did perfect attendance in this play season.
Yes.
I bet it's fewer than you think. Even Raph took some time off. Ryan didn't do some this year.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Cody might. Anyway,
yeah.
There's some, I guess.
There's
Jack
some.
Probably is
There's a non-zero number of non-LC members who have perfect attendance records, and I'd wager that it's close to 10. I don't know what I'd bet on that, but I'm sensing a bet in the air.
You think 10? That's the over/under?
Well, I think like 10 plus the LC, which brings me to my 15.
Oh, you're saying 10 plus the LC?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that bet. Okay. What are we betting?
Well, I'll tell you what. Next time I see you, I'll buy you a beer if I'm wrong, and vice versa.
All right.
If you win, if I win, you buy me a beer next time I see you.
Given that this is the first time you've seen me, I don't know. I assume that'll be.
Well, I'll tell you, if you owe me a beer, it won't be the last. I'll tell you that. I've done more for less, my friend. I've done more for less.
All right, so you guys heard it here. Over under 10 perfect attendance, not counting LC members.
There we go. And that's our first bet on this podcast, on this vodcast, whatever you call it. So yeah, there we go. We've made history. All right, Adam. So we've taken out the cumulative points between rounds, even though it makes no difference. It's bad optics because people have bad memories for whatever reason. It yucked their yums last year. I think last year also I did this Omen Pass thing where I just basically mashed to thematically. It was like It was my frustration from not being able to have a Jumpstart League, Adam. That's what it was, if I'm honest with you. I'm a degenerate. I just want a Jumpstart League, and I'm like, okay, we take 2 sets, mash them together, 3 packs of each. That's your starting pool. Let's go. But
this could be the episode of your new series on leagues not ever happening.
League's impossible. No, we'll find a way. One day there will be a Jumpstart League.
I pitched a league on that theme, but it got shot down when people actually play tested it. Right?
Are we at that?
It was terrible.
Are we at that point in the podcast where we have the wonderful ideas that Adam floated that everybody else hated and shot down? I thought that was going to be
a bad idea, but it was an attempt to realize your vision. It didn't work.
I appreciate it. I appreciate any attempt at making a Jumpstart League work is great. Okay, so let's go through the invitees. Do you have a list of the invitees in front of you? Like, who are we going to see in this year's tournament? You know offhand?
I think it's pretty much similar to last year.
It's pinned in the very top, I think, of the POTI 2024 secret thread for the LC. I think it's the first.
I've got it in the rules document.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, what do you want me to rhyme them off?
Yeah, just let us know who's coming so far.
Oh, like the actual individuals.
Mm-hmm. I know that the big issue for me is that, well, not big issue for me, but like I think one of the bigger issues is that I think Jordan has independently sewn up 6 of the 24 invites. He just.
Oh yeah, is that what you want me to say? You just want me to say Jordan 25 times?
Yeah, basically Jordan, more Jordan, and then Jordan. Yeah. So what that means for our players is that there's going to be more rundown invites to category G and H, which are the players with the highest point averages among the set of players who played at least 3 leagues during 2024 play season, and more invites for the players who have the highest cumulative number of points from the 2024 play season. So those people, I mean, happily, Maybe they didn't win a league, but because of Jordan's cornucopia of successes this season, there's going to be some fruits that kind of roll down, some invites that are going to roll down to some happy players.
He's like Robin Hood. He's stealing league wins and giving them out to us.
That's right. I don't think that I'm anywhere on the like. If this were like a will, I'd be so far down in the the entitled. The estate's going to be carved up by the time I have anything. Maybe I'm going to get left a stuffed animal or something. So yeah, I guess mostly Jordan is the answer there, and also Richard because he's the 2023 Pody. We know that much. If you want to,
let me see. Well, we got Richard won Pody, not Potty, Pody 2023.
Yeah.
Raph, Jordan. Daniel's another repeat, so we've got multiple repeats. Daniel's also currently first place in the Modern Horizons League.
Is that the friskiest of hobbits? Is that the Daniel we're discussing?
Yeah, that's the one. They all won with Sawyer again in the Chaos 3 Team League.
Yeah.
Lotta won the Murders League. Evan won Thunder Junction.
Yeah, after a long absence from the winner's circle, nabbed that one. That was that was a feel good moment, I think, for people, right? To see like someone come out of retirement basically and just snag one of these modern league wins. That was a tasty story.
I was in that top 8, so I wasn't super enthusiastic about it.
Not all fans. Okay.
I'm happy you won. I mean, if somebody.
And I mean, for Lotta, I mean, to have a European represented in the Player of the Year tournament, I think that's also pretty important, obviously, and exciting to see. Where that's going to end up in terms of story beat, right? Are the Europeans going to take it for the first time?
Could do. Looking at who else we got. We got Steve, who won the Total Chaos Decathlon event. And then Ryan M, who won the Zombie League for OTJ. Mm-hmm. They both got it. I'm doing this off the top of my head now. They're not actually on this list here in front of me. But so if I'm missing people,
that's an impressive feat of memory.
And then it's going to be the top 4 average performers and the top 4 cumulative points performers.
So do we have like do we know who that looks like right now prior to the end of the current league, which is Modern Horizons 3 or Bloomburrow?
As in, do you want me to say which people are currently?
Yeah. I mean, if you have the spreadsheet in front of you, I don't know if you have like that kind of thing going on there. I assume it's on one of your tabs. As an LC member, I assume it's like one of your hot tabs. You go to.
Well, we have to fix the way we were rolling down invites too, hopefully uncontroversially, but we'll see, because I don't think we were doing it exactly the way people thought we were, or the way the rules said. So we made it so that they actually alternate back and forth between those 2 categories, which is what they were supposed to be doing.
Before just one bucket got filled completely, I think, and then we went to the other bucket, and now we're going 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So to make it fair. A fair distribution system between the 2 categories of G and H, I believe.
I think that's right. I'm looking to see, at some point I've done the spreadsheet of all the people, but I don't know if I should be reading off these names. People are going to get their hopes up and then be crushed when you and I storm up the standings.
Right, yeah, when we storm the fort. Bloomburrow for us. Bloomburrow's for us. How are you doing in MH3, by the way? I haven't really checked in. Are you doing all right?
Terrible losing streak right now. It's fun though. I love this set, and especially in league, like draft. I kind of checked out of when it was just the one uber common dominating the Chrysalis.
Right.
Although I've come back to it a little bit lately, and it's been great. But league, I love the MH3 set for league. It's been really, really good.
I think we're seeing really spicier and spicier brews and more focused builds, and we're really seeing like the complexity of the set is really paying out in interesting ways.
Absolutely.
And this
I think it's been really And I'm usually like a little bit like against doing these leagues that are just, well, monoset. You're on that page, and also just super vanilla leagues are not usually my thing, but for this set, amazing, like 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
really happy we went this.
I think we needed to too, because again, like to sort of, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I think that between MERS at Karlov Manor and Outlaws at Thunder Junction, I think the LC had basically exhausted itself. And I think that, in order to sort of save up enough energy to design Pody 2024 and Bloomborough at the same time, I think that, and oh, by the way, also, we're kind of, I'm already warming up my engines for Foundations, which is secretly, possibly, if we can talk about it, if we can spoil it on Leagues Ahead, it's turning out to be the Plane Chase 2 League. So the current idea, right, is that we got this base set of Foundations, go different bunch of planes and sort of spice up that core set experience. So I'm already, I have got a list of, I don't know, I could show you. I've already printed out last year's planes, and I'm taking little notes. I'm sort of like deciding which planes were good, which planes were bad, which ones can be tweaked or at least reflavored. So this is already making me happy. I tell you what,
I really want to do the Ravnica, the MKM one, and just have it be entirely redacted. What the actual mechanic is going to be.
Oh wow!
I feel like people will love that if we don't tell them what the mechanic is and we just put a big black box like we did in the league rules for that set. I'm here for it.
Oh God, yeah. People are going to definitely enjoy that. They love it when we spring things on them that they weren't expecting. That's what I've learned. Through a decade of league design, people like nothing better than having their expectations completely shattered. That's sarcasm. I don't know if you can't. Yeah, if that's not coming through.
I'm detecting.
Although I think I'm not a big fan of just messing with people for the sake of it, but I do think like maybe just one little mystery, one little scratch ticket might not be a bad plane to have. So I'm gonna come back to you on that one. I think that's a nice idea. But to bring us back to, sorry,
committee arrest. I'm glad to have had a bit of a rest off like major complaints for this league. I don't think like there's been any big uproars, controversies, rules disputes.
Yeah.
So that's been a rest, I think.
Well, I mean, so here's the danger, right, of having such an active community is like the LC can feel like, right, gosh, if we just do less ambitious things, we have less pushback. Therefore, let's do less ambitious things, right? So there's a feedback cycle there, which people should be aware of, right? So if you just like, you see something new and your automatic response is like to kick and flip the table, you're going to wear out the people that are basically volunteering to make these interesting tournament experiences for you. So I think that maybe, I don't know, try to see the good things, right? That people behind the scenes have put months of work into making these tournaments run. So I don't know. I'm just going to put that out there. If anybody is a table flipper, maybe just read the rules a couple times over, take a walk, touch the grass, come back.
Especially the redacted.
Yeah.
No one should ever complain. I think that's important.
No. I also don't want to discourage complaints either.
League in, league out, nothing but hits. LCI, NKM, OTJ, all winners.
Well, I mean, there were things, of course, that we can go back to. I'm not trying to stifle criticism, of course, but I'm trying to stifle a certain kind of unproductive criticism. I think that we could all sort of take notes and get better at what we're doing, right? And think about things that we haven't thought about and broaden our perspectives. All that's very possible as we've learned, and we've benefited a lot from community feedback on rule sets recently has been really good.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Really high
I think
quality
it's really
stuff.
good.
So I'm really encouraged by the direction of recent feedback. It seems to have been mostly sympathetic and constructive, and inspirational in some cases. Right? It's really helped us narrow down our vision for certain sets. It's maybe given us key mechanics in places too. So yeah, big kudos for that.
I'll bring us back to our main topic here. I'll segue us back.
Yeah, please do.
The OD rules, I think, really take on board a lot of the feedback we got from last year and possibly previous years. But I think we were listening, and we did a good job moving towards correcting some of the stuff that people didn't love. So we talked about cumulative points, but we haven't talked about really the structure at all, like what the actual tournament looks like.
Let's get to it. And obviously the first thing to discuss is your new seeding rules, right? So tell us about the seeding.
Well, this is taking my own feedback on board. I don't know if anyone else cared about this as much as I did, but I really wanted there to be
no.
a different.
No, nobody did, but
no one was. This is a bad example. In other regards, we took on board people's feedback.
Yeah.
But in this regard, I took on board my own feedback, which was that I thought when we rolled down invites that the invites should not be all just equal in terms of how we form pods and whatever. Like, I think the first people invited should be like seated a little bit higher, right? And that there should be a bit of a hierarchy in terms of how we seed people into pods. I'm pretty sure this comes from being in the same pod as like Jordan and Daniel and whatever last year. I got in like a nightmare pod, which is the only reason I didn't win Player of the Year.
Well, you got to play those guys eventually in the tournament, right? You're going to have to beat them eventually if you're going to become Player of the Year. So whether you face them in the quarterfinals or the semifinals, you're not getting away from those guys, Adam.
I'm not understanding what you're talking about.
There is no alternate Pody 2023 where you are crowned champion. That's what I'm trying to say.
Wait, get into this one with the seeding.
Okay, so what is the seeding change and how did you weight the seeds?
So I just thought we should have like people who won 6-week leagues kind of at the top of the seeding, 3-week leagues below that. Oh, Player of the Year right at the tippy top.
Uber Alex.
Yeah, and then like the roll downs and stuff underneath. So, and the idea is then we seed the pods such that we have a kind of distribution of players. We don't end up with like one god tier pod and one pod that's just the rookie of the year and a team that did well in the team league. I'm so down on team leagues, sorry.
Well, to be fair though, I split up the team leagues in previous seasons, right? So like I always made sure that members of the same team weren't able to collude by seeding them in different pods. That was part of my previous machinations.
I like that. Well, the idea of this is just that we have a distribution based on how people perform. So also if you won multiple invites, then you move up the seeding. They stack, they're cumulative. So Jordan will be our top seeded person under whatever the point system is. I can basically guarantee I haven't actually done the math, but
if you can basically guarantee you're not in the pod with him.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really like how you did this season determines, and that way the pods are spread out. And Jordan's not with me. That's critical.
That's the important thing. Yeah, you can't avoid him. I tell you what, you survived the quarterfinals, he's going to be there in the semis. But let's talk about the nature of the quarterfinals now. So what was after some debate, we decided to make it kind of experimental, I think, for the quarterfinals. That's probably our most experimental format. Can you run it down for us?
Yeah, we toned it down from where I wanted to be. But I actually like it. I think we landed somewhere really great for this. So the feedback we took on board here, oh wait, no, I'm wrong about that. So that's the semifinals. Sorry, so this round is, we've taken all of the packs available on Arena.
Yeah.
And we're going to take each 6-person pod is going to draft
all 36 packs, yeah.
So all 36 packs. Once you take one, the next person can't take it, and it'll be a snake draft going in random order. So you'll be seated randomly, and then you're going to end up with 6 packs at the end of that. We'll generate your sealed pool based on those 6 packs, and so each person will have a unique sealed pool that they picked themselves. So I think that's a change. I like that. It still is sort of chaos sealed, which was part of Pody every year so far.
Yeah.
That I've been involved. So it keeps that element, but there's a little bit more control, a
Some
little bit more
strategy.
agency involved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
And like one of
I
the
like the
complaints
fact that we're very
about-
unlikely to see, right? We're unlikely to see two starting pools that are exactly the same sets of packs, I think.
Right, even between different pods, you mean?
Correct.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
unlikely.
Well,
I think we'll see about that.
it's
but
impossible in one
within
pod.
a pod, possible, obviously.
But I think between pods, we're unlikely to see the same precise mix. You might get 5 out of 6 packs the same, but I think there'll be that 6th pack that, well, again, I'll bet you another beer at that we don't
Let's
see.
go, double or nothing.
Yeah. Now watch you decide to just copy somebody from another pod in order to get that beer, in case I win the first bet. Very sneaky.
I'm gonna qualify, and then I'm gonna exactly match someone else's picks.
Exactly.
I have my prayer.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but I think it's very likely that we're going to see just some really wacky mixes because of this, and it's a real celebration, I think, of the diversity of sets that we finally have on Arena. Like we're taking every bit of the Bison and using it in this draft, right? There's nothing that gets left out. Everything's on the table, and you get to decide as a Player of the Year 2024 contestant or invitee, you get to decide which packs are the best, where you rate them. I'm sure this is going to generate a lot of debate before the event. I'm thinking that people are...
Hope so.
I think people are, after you post the rules later today or tomorrow, and after I post the vodcast, I'm pretty sure that people on some server or another, or maybe in just PMs, or maybe on our server, will be deciding which of the 36 sets they would pick first if they had first seed. I would almost guarantee that.
Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting strategic discussion. So I like that element. I always like it when there's more agency. And I think also some of the feedback from the last time was that the sort of random pairings of sets, the Omen Path model that you did last time, felt a little like they were disconnected, both in terms of like power sometimes and also in terms of synergy. And so being able to choose your own packs that you're opening, obviously within constraint,
Yeah.
you get a little more control over whether or not you're going for synergy or power and how you balance that. I think it'll be good.
I mean, to be fair to the Omen Path's idea, you never had to play people with different sets than you, right? You were always paired against people with the same sets, whether they were disconnected or connected, great or crappy. And usually it was like a newer set matched with an older set based on, whether they both used, snow-covered lands or energy, or there was always some thematic crossover if you looked for it. And
Yeah, I liked it. I like that on a theoretical level. I don't remember liking the gameplay so much, but
yeah,
we'll see. This might be the same. Well, we'll see. This is kind of out there and different, so we'll see if it feels better, worse, or what for people.
I don't think
But I think it'll be fair.
I don't think we've ever done a league where we get to draft our own packs. So this is something new and wacky, and I think it's going to make server history, tournament history here. So I'm excited about that. So then, basically, that whole thing is to weed out 2 people out of every 6-person pod, and the top 4 go to the quarterfinals. What will our contestants face in the quarterfinals? Oh, sorry, the semifinals.
Semifinals,
Yeah.
unless you've added them.
Yeah, semifinals.
So the semifinals, also, I think we are taking the kind of idea of Chaos Seal and running it through some of the feedback that we received, which was like, it would be nice if the Chaos Seal that we were doing was sort of connected to the play season that we just finished.
Right.
So we're going to take one of each of the packs from each of the sets or each of the leagues that we ran in the last year, and you'll get one of each of those, including the kind of custom packs we did for Ixalan Remastered and for the Chaos League. And those 9 packs will be used to build your 60 card sealed for that round.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this because I guess, well, first of all, I'm a fan of Chaos to begin with. If feeding people back the same packs they've been opening all year allows them to feel good about playing Chaos Sealed, fine, great. Let's do that. But what I think is interesting is the sort of interesting seeding of like we have a mix of like real, or at least real fake, WotC produced packaging here with some league homebrews kind of like mixed in there for spice. And I really am interested. Like, so for Ixalan Remastered, I think, and for Order and Chaos, those are two packs that are basically made on Cube Cobra and then fed through Francesco's Booster Tutor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then, they're going to be mixed in there with these other packs. It's going to be pretty spicy, as we say.
I do like that element. I think that's cool. I like the callback, and I like that sort of mixing of things from kind of disparate levels.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think, Ixalan Remastered, maybe that one will be low powered, but I think there's enough scope and enough power there anyway. That'll be fine.
Yeah. I think that I think Johnny and who else was in charge of cutting the dross? I think it was mostly Johnny spearheading the collection of cards that made Ixalan Remastered. He was sure to cut out a lot of the dross from Rivals of Ixalan and Ixalan. And adding in other Ixalan themed cards from non-Ixalan sets. So it should be higher powered than the originals, at least, I think.
Yeah, I think that. And I think it really worked super well. Plus, it had a bonus sheet of newer cards mixed into it.
That's right. Yeah, there was a bonus sheet slot, which is kind of cool. So there should be some interesting ads there as well. So just to maybe point out something we haven't pointed out so far, in case you're new to Pody, both the quarterfinals and the semifinals are round robin rounds that last a week, right? So in the first week of Pody 2024, you've got to play everybody else in your pod, which means 5 matches. In the second week, you got to play everybody in your pod, which means 7 matches, because we're going up to 2 pods of 8, right? So there's a bit more of a higher play requirement for the semifinals than the quarterfinals. But I think that, the people who are still in the mix at that point are going to be invested enough. They're going to be close enough to Player of the Year that I think it won't be such a big thing to play 2 extra matches in your week if it means making the finals. So let's get to the finals. We know what Chaos Sealed is like, so we don't need to over-describe that. Can you tell us what we got in mind for the Mega Draft finals this time around?
I think it's those same 9 packs, right? Now you're testing my memory again. But
no, sir.
No,
sir.
The same.
We're leaving out. So it's only 7 packs. It's a 7-pack Mega Draft because we can't really have a 9-pack Mega Draft, right? So if I understand correctly, we've left out the league-specific custom sets, and we're just doing Wilds of Eldraine, Lost Caverns of Ixalan, Khans of Tarkir, Murders at Karlov Manor, Outlaws of Thunder Junction, Modern Horizons 3, and Bloom Burrow. So there's going to be a 7-pack, which is already pretty big, 7-pack Mega Draft with a 60-card deck, and that'll be the structure of the finals.
That does make more sense now that you say that.
I mean, I think in the past we've done some pretty big Mega Drafts. I don't think we've gone past 8 packs, but I remember people feeling that 8 packs was a lot, and this is almost there. So we're going to see some really high-powered decks. You can get a good Mega Draft deck with just 5 packs. 6 is ideal. 7 is a little bit on the unwieldy side, but as a result, like with that greater card selection, I think we're going to see some very powerful Mega Draft decks in the Player of the Year finals. And with this mix of cards, there's some really powerful sets in there. It's very interesting. I can't wait. I imagine that some of the side events we'll have in the run-up to this tournament, some of the side quests that we run will be like practice Mega Draft finals.
We should do that.
I'd play that even if I'm not qualified. I'd play that tomorrow, just to have fun with it, right?
Let's do it. I'm in.
All right, you set it up. I'll knock them down.
I'm terrible at setting up. We need Miranda on this. Miranda, are you listening?
There we go. Yes, Miranda, please make a Mega Draft Pody 2024 Mega Draft finals practice event, or several, if you have the time and the energy for it. Okay, so that's the
Mega Draft.
Sorry.
I said return to Mega Draft madness.
Yeah.
The classic.
Yeah, no kidding. We need that right now, right? We're about to get Zombie League for MH3 off, but I've never. Can I tell you something, Adam? In confidence,
Yeah.
I've never been a fan.
Yep.
In total confidence, I've never been a fan of the Zombie Leagues. I think it's.
No?
I think it's like it's a bad mix of side quest and unprized main event. Right? So I think it's like it's got the deficiencies of both. It requires the commitment of a main event over a long period of time, but no prize structure to motivate you. So if you got a bad hand, you just drop, which means that you got a lot of king making, or at least people not really playing their matches. So it might be hard to find opponents. I think if you tighten it up and make a side event out of it, maybe like a day or two or a weekend, it has more tension in the tournament. I've always found them a bit flabby and unmotivating. Kind of like a
They're backed by- Yeah,
manager
there's
at work.
You're saying this to me, but we've just talked about how much people complain about the regular leagues, and I get like nothing but positive feedback about zombie leagues.
I don't know. I think,
Like,
that's fair enough.
First, I'll run it. I'll give away prizes. Like everybody wants zombie leagues, volunteering to help, volunteering to prize it. Just totally enthusiastic response.
Credit where credit's due.
I didn't
Right? It's not from me, but credit where credit's due, and thanks to you for organizing and prizing the last one. I'm not sure that I have the energy for it. I didn't have the energy to play my matches. As a matter of fact, I saw my pool. I played one match. I got hammered. I dropped. So I'm a coward at the end of the day. And you're the hero for setting up a side quest that's very popular, right? That was the biggest zombie league that we had, and you were at the helm of that. So I shouldn't be the hater. I just took people to town for hating on ideas. But I'm expressing an opinion. My opinion is that it's not for me. Not for me. But
I also did not play a match in my zombie league that I set up. I accidentally made the top 8, though, to be fair, of OTJ, so I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
I was expecting it.
So that's coming up. We've discussed, I think, all the rules of POTI 2024. We sort of compared and contrasted with previous POTIs. We've given perhaps more information than we should have about other leagues that were sort of brewing in the background. So we've left some little... we spiced it with some spoilers. Anything else we should discuss before we publish the rule set and let people start brewing and debating?
I think we've covered a lot there.
Let's give ourselves a well-deserved break until we come back for a discussion on leagues ahead of Bloomburrow League, which should be happening, I think, in 2.5, 3 weeks. We'll be back with our next leagues ahead, which is more regular than usual because we're currently trying to hammer out the final form of Bloomburrow. So as the spoilers of the set start this week, or next week, I guess, we're going to start also, hitting the accelerator on the Bloomburrow rules. So we'll be back, maybe with Adam, maybe with somebody else. We haven't really decided yet who's going to take point on that, but I'll be here at least to talk about Bloomburrow in 3 weeks. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you're excited to play in POTI 2024. If you're qualified, if you're not qualified, I hope this gives you the encouragement that you need to play well in Bloomburrow League and get that last golden ticket, or also the Rookie of the Year side quest, right? So the best new player in Bloomburrow will also have a chance to fight for, I think, what's going to be the last ticket to POTI before the doors close.
Absolutely, it's gonna be good.
Adam, you've been a great special guest. Thanks for coming on. Did your team win today? Today, by the way, did Germany win?
No.
Oh,
it was heartbreaking.
Oh, so I don't.
Spaniard scored final minute.
That wasn't me pouring salt in the wounds. I just genuinely didn't know because I was too busy today. I wasn't like, I know Germany lost and I can't wait to tell Adam at the last minute.
Glad you did this at the end of the interview.
I had to.
It was devastating.
I had to establish good faith before I broke it. All right. Well, thanks again, Adam.
Another shot at this. Fine.
All right. Thanks for your time, Adam. And again, hope everybody enjoys the preview of POTI 2024. That rule set, this vodcast, they'll be out in a probably on July the 5th, which is today. So enjoy them. Thanks, Adam.
Later.
Bye for now.